We're staging for another half hour of nitro-fueled NHRA talk. It's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts with Marty Huff and 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. Now, here's your hosts, Doug and Marty.
This is The Straight Line on Drag Racing. Thanks for being here for our half hour of horsepower. Appreciate you being with us. Number 2 on the Pro Stock all-time wins list, and heading back to his home track, Greg Anderson will join us. The burnout is complete, and we're set to launch another edition of The Straight Line. Wherever you may be, coast to coast, around the world, this is The Straight Line on Drag Racing on MRN.com. Along with 4-time IHRA Top Fuel champion, 10-time NHRA national event winner Doug Herbert, I am Marty Huff, and we are headed to the zoo, Brainerd International Raceway in Minnesota this weekend. A place, Doug, where we don't find a whole lot of humidity. We don't find a whole lot of heat, and so that usually means really good racing conditions.
Well, generally I'd say that the track at Brainerd is a little bit of an unknown because it's part of a great big road course.
Right.
It's a straightaway of the road course. But there have been times when there's been national records set there. I know even as recently as a few years ago.
Well, last year.
They've done it. But over the years, it's happened several times. Joe Amato set some record there.
Yes.
This person, that person, Kenny Bernstein. I mean, there's been, some of these times when it just becomes an exceptional place to race with exceptional conditions. So you never know what you're going to get. One thing that we know we're going to get is they're going to run the final rounds for Top Fuel and Funny Car on Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be pretty cool because guess what? 2 guys have the chance of winning 2 national events on one weekend. And I don't remember the last time, if ever, that happened. It seems like we ran a final round somewhere at a different location one time, but I can't even remember. It was been a while ago.
Yeah, actually, Brainerd was a part of one of those 2 years ago where they rained out Brainerd, and they ran the finals of a couple of different events at Indy a few weeks later. Here and then a couple years ago when they rained out here at ZMAX Dragway. And
that's right. They went to Dallas and
went
ran
to
the
Dallas.
Yep.
But I don't think there were two of the same in the same division.
Right.
That would be kind of good to look up, and I'm sure
they
that's
have
out there.
whatever in the old days, Big Bud Shootout, Krager Classic, all these things.
Right.
So you could win, a race within a race, but not win actually 2 national events on the same weekend. But
two of these.
Yeah, I'd forgot about the ZMAX thing a couple years ago, but when we had our track out, I guess is what you call it here. The track was peeling up on us. Anyway,
all right, fine.
Whatever. But looking
right.
forward to could be some great racing going on. I was texting earlier with Clay Milliken, and he was just getting off the plane in Brainerd, going to do some things for his Parts Plus guy. So a lot of things going on. Everybody is pretty excited at Brainerd. For anybody that has not been to Brainerd before, it's an event like no event. It's like there's a big party, there's a big camp, there's concerts, there's this, there's that, and there's a drag race too.
Yeah, a good place to have a good time. Can you have too much of a good time?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, if you're
Probably
on a team
not.
or
No, I mean, you're like a couple years ago we talked to Caps, and Napa had their big float building contest in the pits in the campground at Brainerd. They call the campground at Brainerd the zoo, and it's the zoo for a reason.
No
back
doubt.
When I started racing there, 26 years ago, when the sun went down, they actually sent the National Guard and the police dogs and all this stuff into the campground because we're talking wild, like cars getting flipped over, lighting stuff on fire, bad stuff happening. And they send the National Guard in, and that kind of tend to calm things down a little.
You would think, yeah.
But it's a fun place to go. I know. When I started going there, I asked my crew chief, Jim Brissett, at the time, I want to go over there. I'm going to take some T-shirts and hats and go in the campground. He goes, oh, no, man. You don't go in the campground. And I ended up running into Roy Hill. And Roy says, oh, yeah, campground's fun. Let's go in there. So Roy,
it's Roy Hill.
So Roy and I went in the campground. And, I mean, there was not many people that went in the campground back then.
Yeah.
But we had a great time. The rule was, and all of the security guys around the campground were telling us, you guys have to be out by dark. Like, you can't stay here after dark. So they kicked us out. Maybe it was for our own good. I don't know. But
probably
they were adamant that we had to leave by the time the sun went down. So Roy Hill, and then after that, every year I'd start dragging, Joe Amato or drag Selzy became addicted to it. He loved it once he got in there, but it was like I had to drag him in there, and Alan Johnson, and oh no, you shouldn't go in there. Herbert always gets you in trouble. Come on. I mean, I'm just, we're just out to have fun.
Right, exactly. And so a guy from Minnesota is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Greg Anderson will be here, and he'll probably have some great zoo stories, because not only has he been there for many national events, but I'm sure he's been there for quite a few of the regionals and that sort of thing. And
well, Greg works too hard. I'm guessing he has not had that much fun other than winning races at Brainerd. I know he's had plenty of fun winning races. I'm not sure that he's spent too much time in the campground.
I don't know. We'll have to ask him about that. So when we return, we will talk to the driver of the Summit Racing Camaro. Greg Anderson will join us next.
This is The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. We'll have more for you right after this.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
From work life to nightlife, from home to the road, your day can take you anywhere. These fast-paced times call for Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Advanced Comfort is designed to keep up with you, no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you. Wrangler Advanced Comfort. Go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable. Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Try on a pair today.
O'Reilly. Has the summer heat taken a toll on your vehicle's battery? Count on O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Superstart battery that's right for your vehicle. For a limited time, purchase a Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum battery and get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card by mail. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now it's back to Marty Huff and Doug Herbert.
Thanks for being with us today on The Straight Line, and joining us right now on the telephone line is the man who sits currently at number 2, tied with the great Bob Glidden on the all-time pro stock car victories list with 85, and headed to his home track at Brainerd this weekend. Greg Anderson joins us. Greg, thanks for your time. We really appreciate your time. I know it's a busy week for you.
Good afternoon, boys. Yes, sir. I'm actually en route to the Charlotte Airport.
Aha.
Headed for the motherland, headed for Minnesota right now as we speak.
Oh, going to go up there and get some cheese curds, don't you know?
Hey, yes. You betcha.
You betcha.
Yeah, you betcha.
I'll tell you what, 85 wins, would you ever imagine that? I mean, being tied with Glidden, you and I grew up in the same time. I mean, it seemed like it was almost unattainable, really.
Yeah, I absolutely thought it was unattainable, and it's still hard to believe that I'm found a way to tie him. It's not something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Just been out there having fun, Doug, and to win races, So somehow the numbers jumped up in a hurry, and we've got him for number 2, and I can't even quite wrap my arms around it right now. Pretty cool, pretty neat deal, but hopefully I'm not done.
No, I don't think you're done yet. Your old boss WJ is not too much farther ahead, and I think you've got quite a few more years in you, so there's time to knock him off here.
Well, I'm hoping that's obviously the next victim on the list, so to speak. So we'll see what we can do. But I kind of got stalled out at 74, and I couldn't get that 75th for like a 2 or 3 year drought. So you never know. You never know what tomorrow brings.
Yep.
It's been a great year so far, and the wins have been coming fairly frequently, so that's pretty cool. But it can change tomorrow. This class is so tough, and these guys are definitely figuring this deal out right now. It's getting harder to win out there right now, so you never know.
So if you catch WJ, are you expecting like a dozen roses or maybe a fruit basket or something like that from WJ?
Maybe like a quarter stick of dynamite in a cake or something. Be more like it.
Okay. All right, fine.
Well, going back there, I know obviously you've been racing at Brainerd for a long time. Going back to Brainerd, anything special, memorable for you going back to Brainerd?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of memories been created at Brainerd with the zoo over there. There's been a lot of good times. I tried for the last 5-10 years to be a little more serious about the racing game and tried to stay away from the zoo as much as I could. But back in the day, back when I raced with Warren and Kurt, we had a great time back there. We had some serious laughs, and some years things got out of control. I can remember one year back in the 90s when some people went to jail. They had a wet T-shirt contest over there. It got a little out of hand, and some dudes ended up going to jail. Apparently, some of the girls were underage. So they clamped down on it from then on. It certainly cleaned up its act over there, but it's still a great time.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
it's definitely a great time. But Marty and I were talking a little bit earlier, and I always thought that you're such a serious racer. I didn't figure that going in the campground and messing around was lower on the totem pole than worrying about winning that race for you.
Well, I certainly had my day back in the day. We used to have a lot of fun back then, and as the years have gone by, the races got so serious that some of that fun has gone away. But man, back in the day, that was the number one goal when you went to the race. Have fun.
Yeah, I would imagine. So, as I understand it, now your teammate and good buddy Jason Line snuck up to BIR last weekend and was there for the regional event. And as I understand it, got his tail kicked by his niece.
That crazy fool's been up there for a week. He drug his Buick Stalker all the way up to Minnesota just to get wiped out by his niece, and I think it was her first race, to be honest with you. I think she's run some junior dragster stuff, but her first time in a stock eliminator car. And he told me during the day, I think she lost in the 5th round, but she was 0-0 on the light 3 of those 5 rounds.
Wow.
He's obviously a natural, and she knocked him out. She knocked Jason's brother-in-law out also, so she's a giant killer.
Wow,
how about that?
No kidding. Well, at least it's brought him down to reality, because you guys this year in Pro Stock are absolutely knocking him dead. Like there's you and there's Jason, and then there's everybody else about 500 points back.
Yeah. It's not a good year. The only unfortunate part of it is within 2 races, it's going to be the bloodiest points massacre we've ever seen. We're going to lose that whole lead, and you can't cry about it. We know the game. We know what it's all about. So we're just going to have to make sure we find a way to turn on the jets and up the ante come playoff time.
Well, you guys have really but have worked your tails off to get a little bit of a performance advantage, and maybe it's went away a little bit. I don't know, but you guys seem to still have a decent performance advantage over the whole rest of the guys.
Well, it seems lately for the last 3-4 races, race by race, there's been 1 or 2 each race pick up close the gap and pick up the performance deficit. So I would expect by Brainerd there'll be half a dozen other cars besides ours that can run, fast, can qualify number 1, can contend for a win. So it's a different landscape out there right now. And I said it was coming. I said these guys were going to figure it out. And kind of surprised it took them as long as they did, but it looks like they've done it now. And it's a new landscape. It's going to be a new ball game the rest of the way out. It's going to be a heck of a challenge right now to get those race wins like we had early in the year. But hopefully we're up to the challenge, and it's up to us now to respond and find a better product than what we brought to the race the first 16 races, and bring something better when we get to the countdown. And so we hope we can continue this deal and close out the deal this year on a special year.
Greg, me and Doug were talking before the show about Seattle, and wanted to ask a couple questions about that. First of all, the first round, you got knocked out by Aaron Strong, and it seemed like there may have been a spot in the track where all 3 of you, Erica, and Bo Butner got to about the same place on the track, and then for whatever the reason, the car either quit or you had to shove in the clutch. Was there a place on the track where there was a bad spot, or was it just coincidence that when Aaron Strong was on the track that everybody started going up at about that point?
It was absolutely something that Eric Strong had going. He apparently had voodoo doll of all three of us in the car. And sometimes my car mysteriously jumped out of third gear halfway through third gear. Erica's car, I believe she blew the motor up out in third gear.
Oh, boy.
And Bo Butner got out of the groove and had to lift because his car got loose in high gear. So I don't know what it was, just three completely different deals in crazy circumstance, but all in Eric Strong's benefit, and good for him. He did a great job. He didn't make a mistake. He was there to take the win when we made mistakes. So my hat's out to him. He did great, and I think Vincent Nobil's a lucky man that the race rained out because the way things were going, something was going to happen to him in the final.
I know you can't speak for NHRA and the decision that they had to make and relocating the final round, but can you put yourself in Aaron Strong's shoes? I mean, back in 2001, you were in your first finals and anticipating that. Now he's got to go an entire month trying to anticipate his first final round in NHRA Pro Stock competition.
It's true, but you know what? He'll have a smile on his face for a month.
True enough.
He'll have a special Indy. He's going all the way to Indy to finish this deal off, so not only is going to the biggest race of the year and going to have a blast for that, but he gets to race the final round from his home track in Seattle. He lives right down the road from the Seattle racetrack. He's a hometown boy out there.
Yeah.
And if he can continue that luck streak he had and do the good job he did, who knows? He may be able to get a win at Indy or the Seattle race. So, you know, it's cool to see. It's a neat story. It's cool to see. Yeah, I remember those days. And, man, you're in disbelief, but you're on top of the world when that happens.
Yeah.
Greg, I know how hard you guys work over there at KB Racing to get a little bit of an advantage like you guys have had most of the year. Do you have anything left going into the countdown? Knowing you guys, I'm thinking, you might because you don't want to show them everything you have right now.
Well, we're hoping we do, Doug. We certainly have been working a lot in the last few weeks, trying to find something special for the countdown. We've been doing some experimenting at the current races we've been going to.
Yep.
Have that luxury where we can, give up a few runs and test a few things. So we've been doing that. So we'll see. We definitely think we've got some better stuff, but the way it goes, other people do too. Other people like to hold back for the countdown too. So it's going to be a ball. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl, and that's the way it should be. That's why they made this countdown. So hopefully by that time of year, everybody's got their act together. Everybody's on their A game and have peaked at the right time. So it should be interesting.
Greg, I know Doug talks about it when the races come to Charlotte, and I'm sure that you get actually triple nailed by these sorts of things where you're coming to your home track. And maybe even a Las Vegas, too, where Ken Black has his operation. But there's a lot of distractions when you show up at your home track, whether it be Brainerd or whether it be ZMAX. When people want tickets, people want to come see you, people want to spend time with you. You're trying to win a race. Talk about the distractions and how you try to deal with all of that when you're trying to be professional and trying to be nice, but you're also trying to win a Wally.
You are, but you got to realize all those people are there to support you. You don't get that everywhere else across the country, so you got to channel that into positive energy, and you got to make sure that turns into your advantage. That's an intangible that the other cars don't get. So we've liked it, and all those races, those special ones, whether it's been Summit's name all over the billboard of that race, and you had all the brass in town or whatever for the race, or in Black's hometown or ours or whatever. Extra pressure, we've seemed to be able to perform well under those extra pressure scenarios. So I guess maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need that little bit of extra drive and worry and scaredness, whatever you want to call it, to perform better. So we're fine with it now. Happened plenty of times in years past, and we've had great success with it. So we now welcome it, and it almost seems like the more distractions, the better off we are.
Well, you've got a pro stock team that you race for, so that means NHRA just gives you all the tickets that you want for free.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's how it works. Yeah, you remember the game.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. Like, you race a car, you get all these free tickets. I know, right?
Yeah, you got like 12 tickets I can have.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, I've got them right on me, right here, right in my back pocket.
In the back room here.
Yeah. Greg, thanks for taking a part of your day and joining us. I know you're headed to the airport, so we don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time. But thanks for being with us. Congratulations on finding yourself right now number 2. I'm sure that 86 win is coming very soon. It puts you alone in that spot. And good luck coming up this weekend at your home track at Brainerd.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. You guys hold the fort down here for me while I'm gone. Back to the motherland, and we'll go over to the zoo and check it out for you. Let me send you a picture or two.
There you go. Yeah, text me a picture from the zoo. I'd like that.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg. Good luck up there, buddy.
Greg Anderson, driver of the red Summit Racing Equipment Chevy Camaro for Ken Black Racing, and headed off to Brainerd. And sounds like he's going to have a good time at the zoo at some point during the weekend. When we return, we'll have more on the zoo coming up.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. More right after this.
Has the summer heat taken a toll on your vehicle's battery? Count on O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Superstart battery that's right for your vehicle. For a limited time, purchase a Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum battery and get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card by mail. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From work life to nightlife, from home to the road, your day can take you anywhere. These fast-paced times call for Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Advanced Comfort is designed to keep up with you, no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you. Wrangler Advanced Comfort. Go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable. Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Try on a pair today.
MRN On Demand. Listen or watch when you want and where you want. Find all of MRN's original programs in the Media Center at MRN.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Race Day Nation on iHeartRadio. Find NASCAR Live, Motorsports Monday, Winged Nation, NASCAR Coast to Coast, Pod Tracks, Sling and Dirt, The Inside Line, and The Straight Line. Motorsports programs when you want, where you want. MRN On Demand. It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now here's Marty Huff and Doug Herbert.
Welcome back to The Straight Line. Big thanks to Greg Anderson for joining us on The Straight Line. And if you're in the state of Michigan next week, you're in luck. The O'Reilly Shredder is going to be near you. And check out the dates there on the screen. Jenison and in Wyoming, Michigan. Try that once. And then on the 25th, Kentwood and Grand Rapids. On the 26th in Roseville, Michigan. Go out to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Support them. They support us. And go out and see the really cool O'Reilly Shredder, a full-size stock car with the O'Reilly name plastered all over it. Is there a story from the zoo this is a family show? So, I mean, is there one that you can share that comes to mind right off the top of your head?
There's just a lot of fun there. You know, all the people that go to Brainerd, to the raceway, they're not necessarily going there for the race. They're going there because that's their summer vacation.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
They go there and they camp for a week, and there's concerts at night, and there's, pretty much every 10 feet there's another guy that has a new bar set up with his name, Joe's Bar, just so having Joe's there, and they're just having a good time partying and having a fun time. One year I went down there, and it's one of the things that they do is they build contraptions that you drive or ride or whatever. And so I remember one year this guy built this big bicycle, like the old bicycle with the big wheel in the front and the small wheel in the back. Yeah. And he had one of these things, and this thing was like flimsy as all get out, and taught me into riding on the thing, and I'm riding it, and it's not going that well, and I'm thinking, oh boy, that's all I need to do. Doug Herbert survives 300-mile-an-hour crash, gets killed in the pits at Brainerd riding a bicycle. But anyways, a lot of fun up there to be had at Brainerd, and a lot of fun people, really neat people that look forward to going to that race every year. Like, they are big fans.
They don't have much summer.
They don't have much summer.
I mean, their summer starts sometime in June and ends in September. So, this is their last dash effort to get in, some outdoor time, get some sunshine, get some air in their lungs, get some nitro in their lungs before they got to go into hibernation again. So they let it all loose during this week.
Yeah, and we announced last week on the show here, Terry Blunt actually did, that the finals for Seattle are going to be televised live from Brainerd.
Correct.
At 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. So 3 p.m. Eastern time Saturday, tune in to the Brainerd race, and you'll see the finals for the Seattle race.
Also, some good news that was released yesterday. Courtney Force is confirmed now to be in the Traxxas Chevy Camaro after taking a really nasty hit at Seattle. Seattle has not been a real good place to the Force girls. If you remember back, 6-7 years ago, Ashley went head on into the wall there and in a really scary crash. She was fine. Car wasn't. Courtney got banged up in this deal, and they weren't sure if she was going to be able to make it or not. As you mentioned, Brainerd is a part of a great big motorsports complex. I'm not sure if people realize that it's just not just a drag strip when you show up there. It's a big road course where they do lots of sports car events, and they also do some drag racing events, but it's not just a one-purpose facility.
It's a
there.
big facility.
Right.
They really do a lot of racing there. There's a lot of different things that happens there. One of the fun things that I used to like is the return road for the top fuel cars used to be down the road course. Now they kind of turn them off, and you have to go back down and get weighed and all this stuff. But in the old days, we just went down the return road, which was the road course, and towed the top fuel car down this road course to go back to
you
the
were
pits,
like
which was fun.
Like doing a
fun.
slalom course there for
we had
for
to
a
tell the guys,
dragster.
okay, step on it a little bit. We go 25, 30 or 40 miles an hour down the road cars in a top fuel car. It's kind of fun.
Oh,
road
man.
car, top fuel cars actually handle pretty good, and they go really fast on the straightaway. So
Hey,
it might not be
there's
too
that.
bad
Yeah.
on a road course.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna trust you on that one because
Well, it's kind of like an Indy car, just longer. And skinnier tires
lower.
in the front.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you got the wing on the back there, so you got a little bit of downforce, and you can get around that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm taking to it. One of the people that we were going to have on the show today was Andrew Hines. Something happened, he couldn't come on. But the winningest pro stock motorcycle rider in history, that's pretty big. Passing Dave Schultz, John Myers, Terry Vance. I mean, that's some that's some pretty big names. Matt Hines, also his brother,
right?
One of the top guys on there too. So pretty impressive. We'll get Andrew on the show coming up one of these days to talk about that.
Yeah, and looking forward to that because obviously a lot of history being made here in the 2016 season, and he's another one of those. Big thanks to everybody for joining us, including Greg Anderson. So, for Robbie Mays, for Daryl Smith, for Doug, I'm Marty. We will talk to you next week right here on The Straight Line.
You've been listening to The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Tune in again next Thursday at noon Eastern on MotorRacingNetwork.com and the MRN app. The Straight Line is the show for drag racing fans and is brought to you by Hercules Tires. This program is also available on demand at the MRN.com Media Center, or you can download it through iTunes or Stitcher. The Straight Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.